Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
An annual campaign bringing awareness to gender violence returns to NAIT for a somber anniversary.
Creating a safe space on campus is what this is all about.
There are new regulations for dropping off lost or abandoned cats. What you need to know about taking care of these feline friends.
It really gives us the opportunity to provide the level of care that we want to provide to the cats that are coming into our shelter.
And one woman is getting a helping hand in her search for a kidney donor.
I don't know what freedom is. Since dialysis, I don't even remember what freedom is.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. NAIT students have the opportunity to take a stand against gender-based violence as a part of a global movement.
The White Ribbon campaign is underway here at NAIT to raise awareness on campus. Our Sarah McKinley joins us live from the South Lobby with more.
Thanks, guys. The White Ribbon campaign originated in 1991 in response to the tragic mass shooting at L'École Polytechnique de Montreal. 14 young women had their lives taken in the targeted massacre on December 6, 1989. Now, the campaign is focusing on men and boys standing up against gender-based violence by transforming social norms and promoting equity.
Hey guys, do you have a minute to take the pledge?
It has been 30 years since the tragic event occurred in Quebec, and raising awareness has grown a lot since then. The White Ribbon campaign hosts numerous events and projects all over the world. The global 2-week campaign kicked off at NAIT starting on November 25th, which is known as White Ribbon Day.
So the White Ribbon campaign is basically people taking a stand against violence against women, but we've extended it to include all gender-based violence. So creating a safe space on campus is what this is all about.
NAIT is hosting events on campus until December 6th to raise awareness about gender-based violence. This Thursday, booths were set up in the CAT building asking NAIT students to take the pledge to never commit, condone, or remain silent about violence against women and girls.
So our campaign is to get everyone to sign a pledge to end the stigma around how we treat women, but also to take the pledge to end sexual violence. So we're having them take the pledge online today, and then also signing our NAIT pledge wall with their name, and then to wear a white ribbon to show that they show their support.
Another booth was set up to help educate about sexual violence.
We have a bunch of questions that we get asked on a regular basis up on the board, and they kind of talk about what is sexual assault, what is sexual harassment.
Next week, NAIT will continue with more events to raise awareness. The campaign will wrap up on December 6th in the Cat Crossing, where the official Alberta government's vigil for the 30th anniversary of the massacre will be held. December 6th is known as the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. The day is not only commemorating the national tragedy and honoring those who have experienced gender-based violence, it is also a time to take action.
What other events can NAIT staff and students expect to see next week?
There are going to be events almost every day next week where students and staff have the opportunity to take the pledge as well as learn about how to end gender-based violence. On Tuesday there will be an immersive auditory exhibit called This Is What It Feels Like, where people are able to experience being on the receiving end of catcalling and street harassment.
Does NAIT have resources for people who are looking for support or want more information on sexual violence?
Yes, NAIT says they are committed to creating an environment that is free of sexual violence, bullying, discrimination, and harassment. Confidential help is available through NAIT's counseling services, and NAIT also has people on campus trained specially to work with survivors.
Thanks, Sarah. That's Sarah McKinley reporting live from the South Lobby tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
NAIT will be helping fight plastic waste thanks to the largest applied research partnership in the school's history. NAIT announced a partnership with Interpipeline on Monday. The company has committed $10 million over 10 years to research ways to reuse and recycle plastic. The project will also look at ways to improve sustainability at Interpipeline's Heartland petrochemical complex east of Edmonton.
So how can we take plastics waste and actually use that as a product that can be combined to produce asphalt for roadways. So how can we take plastic waste again, put it into products like insulation or cement that can be used in construction industry?
Engineering, automation, and environmental researchers and students at NAIT will contribute to the research project.
The province is taking a close look at the way photo radar is being used in Alberta. The government announced on Tuesday that they will be putting a freeze on new photo radar equipment while they review the use of photo radar here in the province.
Once we have better, more consistent data, we will be in a position to make informed decisions about the future of photo radar in Alberta. The intention of this freeze is to analyze the information to determine whether photo radar is used as a safety tool as intended.
Municipalities can continue to use existing photo radar devices during the freeze, but they can't buy new equipment or set them up in new locations. The province hopes that with the freeze in place, they'll have more consistent data. The City of Edmonton had no plans in place to buy new photo radar equipment.
The city introduced a new strategy this week to combat the issue of cat overpopulation.
Yeah, Edmonton's Animal Care and Control Centre introduced an appointment-based model for cat drop-offs in order to slow down their cat intakes as the shelter remains overcrowded. Ty Ferguson joins us live with more on that story.
Thanks, fellas. I'm standing here in front of the Edmonton Care and Control Centre, where the overload of cat drop-offs has brought up a new approach for admitting potentially stray cats. I talked to the spokesperson here to see what those changes will look like and what it will mean for the stray cat overpopulation problem in Edmonton. Edmontonians who find lost or abandoned cats or are giving up their own cats will no longer be able to drop them off at the Animal Care and Control Centre unannounced.
So we're asking people to call 311 first to make an appointment and to also do what they can to allow that cat to be reunited with its owner before coming into the shelter.
This change is due to the overcrowding of cats in the city's shelter. Approximately 4,000 cats are taken in every year, continuously causing the facility to go above its capacity.
This was something that's driven by a need to manage the capacity within our shelter so that we have the space to care for the cats that really do need our help.
Tracy Botter stressed the importance of Edmontonians spaying and neutering their cats. Little Cats Lost is one trap, neuter, return organization in Edmonton that does just that. Traps, neuters, and returns feral cats from colonies throughout the city. Crystal Wallin, a board member for Little Cats Lost, expanded on what her TNR organization does in partnership with the city to remedy the overpopulation issue.
Typically when we bring in the animals either from the colonies or from Animal Care and Control that are unsocial, they just can't be let loose. So we have kennels like this whereby we put them in our homes. We are able to bring them into sort of a home situation whereby they hear noises and people and sounds and vacuums and things like that, normal life. And then obviously we go in there, we take them out, we spend time with them. We can rehab them and turn them over for adoption. It would be great to have more programs whereby people can get their animals spayed and neutered. It's an enormous cost for families, especially in the current economy. We understand that. So we would love to see more programs and things whereby animals can get spayed and neutered at a lower cost.
If you see a stray cat in your area and would like to know exactly what you should do, you can call 311 or check out the Edmonton Care and Control Centre websites for solutions like the paper collars.
Thanks, Ty. That's Ty Ferguson reporting. The Alberta Society for Injured Birds of Prey is asking Edmontonians for food donations. They're just not the kind that you might think of. The Society is accepting donations of either live or dead mice that they will use to feed their birds. The ASIB cares for injured birds of prey, including owls, eagles, vultures, falcons, and hawks.
We have birds that eat mice, they enjoy mice, they recognize it as food, and this may be a good solution to this humane problem.
Mice can be dropped off at the ASIB farm south of Ardrossan or arranged for pickup by contacting Eva on their website.
Each year, ETS Stuff a Bus invites Edmontonians to support people who rely on Edmonton's food bank during the holidays. Their 2019 campaign kicked off on Monday. Edmonton's food bank serves over 20,000 people per month through its hamper programs, of which approximately 40% are children under the age of 18. This year marks the 25th year for ETS Stuff a Bus. From November 27th through December 1st, ETS and food bank volunteers will be collecting non-perishable food and cash donations at Save on Food locations, transit centers, and on a dedicated train car at LRT stations. Since 1995, ETS Stuff-A-Bus has collected over 500,000 kilograms of food and $460,000. For more information on dates and locations, visit ets.com/stuffabus.
A young Edmonton woman has been dealing with kidney failure for most her life. After sitting on a transplant list for over 3 years, Andrea McKinnon decided to take her fate into her own hands. A classmate urged Andrea to take action and to save money up for an advertising space that would be seen by thousands. By scrounging every spare penny she could, Andrea purchased 2 posters on the Southgate and Churchill LRT platforms. They, along with the Facebook page Kidneys for Andrea, aim to find a compatible donor.
It would mean a lot to me to get a kidney so I can travel and not have to worry about booking all of that, and then also, most of all, being healthy.
Dialysis treatment cost Andrea over $3,000 when she visited Hawaii last summer. Since the posting of her ad, she has received over 10 responses that are willing to see if they are a match.
The City of Edmonton sang the praises of some of our city's unsung heroes at the Salute to Excellence Awards. Councillors Ben Henderson and Andrew Knack were on hand to help recognize over 60 Edmontonians for their contributions to arts and culture, community service, or sport in Edmonton. Oris McKinn was one of the award recipients. He's been a key volunteer for Habitat for Humanity for almost 30 years and has taken part in both local and international projects.
You don't do it for the potential rewards that may come your way, but it's, I guess it's a recognition, because I'm going to, I'm going to keep doing, volunteering locally.
The city has honored the dedication of Edmontonians with the Salute to Excellence Awards since 1951.
Coming up after the break, the Movember campaign is wrapping up at NAIT.
Find out how one NAIT student has turned his tragedy into hope for others.
If I can raise money for men's mental health, then I think that's a huge thing for me.
Coming up in sports, 2 head coaches are on the move. I got your hockey highlights, and I hit the slopes for my end zone challenge. All that and more coming up.
Quick question for you. Have you been enjoying the nice weather that we've been having, these above 0 temperatures? Well, if so, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you in this week's weather forecast. But don't worry, there might be some hope for next week. All that and more coming right up.
The NAIT Nugget is your NAIT student newspaper. Join us every Tuesday from 12 to 1 for a free lunch, workshops, and tips to improve your writing and to pick up an article. You'll get paid up to $15 for every article that you write. Join us in room E102 or come say hi at our new office in O105. The NAIT Nugget.
Jace, I feel like we're always complaining about the weather at this time of year. Like, especially the last couple of days have been so cold, but last week was so warm.
Yeah, I know. It's been nice seeing as much nice weather as we've had, but I hear temperatures might be coming back to earth. Joshua has your weekend weather forecast.
Thanks so much, guys. Going to be taking a look at our weekend conditions here, and we'll start in Calgary. You'll notice a few trends. It's going to be really sunny this weekend, but also pretty cold. Calgarians are going to be pretty happy that they're not getting any snow. They got bombarded during the week. So if you're in Calgary, you can go outside and enjoy a high of -7, but you might want to bundle up as the day goes on. We'll get into those double-digit temperatures, and unfortunately, even though there's no snow, the cold air isn't going anywhere. You know who might want some snow this weekend is Jasper, as that high is going to be -6, But yeah, I mean, the conditions are great out at Marmot Basin. If you do go skiing, just make sure you bundle up. Minus 19 for the low, and the temperatures will continue to drop throughout the day. The cold air is still going to be there, but make sure to go enjoy that skiing and enjoy that sun. Up in Fort McMurray, we've got only a 10% chance of precipitation. Once again, going to be pretty sunny. Minus 6 for the high and minus 15 as the day goes on. So yeah, just make sure that if you go outside, you're wearing the proper attire, I guess, to be in that cold weather. Now back here in the capital city, guys, we were doing so well. We had 21 days where we were above zero in November. Unfortunately, this is going to be the coldest weekend of the fall, as we're going to be well below our average temperatures. Minus 16 for the low, and unfortunately, that's not going to get any better for the rest of the weekend. We'll be well below average. And looking at some of our average temperatures, minus 2 is our average high. We should get back there sometime early to mid next week, so that will be nice. Unfortunately, we won't get up to our record high of plus 14, which was in 1885, but at least we won't be getting all the way down to our record low of minus 39, which was set in 1919. Well, thank you so much for joining me for weather. You're all up to date. I'm going to throw it back to Jason Spencer in the studio.
NewsWatch Weather, sponsored by NR92 Campus Radio.
This November, a radio and television student at NAIT is growing out his stash for cash.
He raised $6,500, but more importantly, he raised awareness. Our Katrina Fernandez has that story.
Came to that realization it was good, because then I was able to do what I need.
It's okay not to be okay. This is Humboldt Broncos bus crash survivor Tyler Smith's motto as he raises awareness for men's mental health. Smith is cutting the stereotype for men not to be weak.
I think that was a big realization, that I kind of finally realized that I wasn't okay, and obviously being a hockey player and a man, there's always that stereotype, and kind of breaking that barrier was a big thing, and after I did that, now I can kind of move forward with it and continue to be hopefully an advocate for mental health, and especially in men. So
Movember is an annual advocacy campaign to give awareness specifically for men's mental health, prostate cancer, and testicular cancer. For people to show support, they grow their mustache and give donations for the month of November.
With Movember, they talk about setting up a men's group, going out for a beer, and talking about what's reality. If you're not happy at your job, you're stressed out at home, like share it with somebody, because maybe they've got some ideas to share with you on how to make life easier.
This week, the government also announced $22 million of funding to deliver mental health supports to post-secondary students. If you're suffering from mental health issues, NAIT has many services to offer, from peer support center to mental health coordinator. From NAIT NewsWatch, I am Katrina Fernandez.
Hey, Jace, you're a big CFL fan, right?
Yep, that's very true.
Yeah, I heard Elliot has like one more story for us for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and he also promises to have the coldest end zone challenge of the year. We'll send it over to Elliot Knopp with our sports update.
Thanks, guys. I do have some CFL news, but I'm going to get to that in a moment because it's the end of an era for the Ooks and the Eskimos, and the Ooks women's soccer team is going to look very different next season. It was announced earlier this week that Carol Holt would be stepping down from her role as head coach. In her 8 years with the Ooks, Holt has transformed the women's soccer program at NAIT into one of the most successful programs in the country. Her coaching record of 75, 5, and 2 is one of her many accomplishments, along with multiple Coach of the Year and Player of the Year awards. Holt says that timing was a big influence on her decision to step down.
It was a big commitment, and I felt like I accomplished what I came in to accomplish. It was a good time for me to step away. I had a number of players that were graduating this year, so I wanted to see it through with them, and just felt like the right time. So I'm still coaching in the community with my daughter's club program, and as well as with Alberta Soccer Association's Regional Excellence program. So I'm working with some of the best athletes in the province, which is going to be a challenging environment for me as well.
The Ooks men's hockey team is looking good this year, just like they do every year. Their 11-1 record is the best across the ACAC, and their match against the Concordia Thunder was just another example that the Ooks have no plans of slowing down anytime soon. Fans in the NAIT Arena were in for a treat during Glenn Feltham Appreciation Night. The president will be retiring in December, but not before revealing the new Ooks jerseys for 2020. Oh man, those jerseys look nice. But hey, you look good, you play good. Anyway, let's get into the action. We start in the second period with the Ooks leading 2-1. On a power play, we see Curtis Roach send the puck towards the net, where Devin McAndrews gets the deflection off of his stick, and it's a 3-1 Ooks lead. This would be the first of 4 Ooks power play goals in the game. The tension and physicality would rise though. One of the Thunder shoves an Ook into the boards, and the teams decide to go at it. Thunder defenseman Scott Allen grabs Ooks' Jared Legion by the jersey and tosses him to the ice. The scuffle resulted in 4 total penalties, with 3 of them going against the Thunder. Both teams would combine for a whopping 20 penalties in this contest. Fast forward to another Ooks power play. The Thunder are playing from behind, and Curtis Roach takes a shot at the net from distance and tallies his first goal of the game for a 5-3 Ooks lead. He would finish his night with 1 goal and 2 assists. The Ooks would take this game 7-3 to improve their record to 11-1 on the season. Head coach Tim Fragel says that despite 4 power play goals, he would like to see his team less penalized moving forward.
I think they went 2 for 9 on their power play and we were 4 for 7. That's kind of the difference in the game. However, we want to play 5-on-5. We're a better team playing 5-on-5. So we kind of shot ourselves in the foot tonight a little bit.
Lewington, 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 Lewington. It kind of sounds like a broken record, doesn't it? Good, because Mitch Lewington has broken the record for most career assists in the ACAC.
Hey! Yeah, dude, quick!
In the men's volleyball game against the King's University Eagles, Mitch Lewington tallied 44 assists, bringing his career total to 2,552. The previous record was held by Marcus Bichevel from Lethbridge College at 2,480 assists. Lewington is in his 4th year at NAIT and can qualify for 1 more year of eligibility to build on his record. The Edmonton Eskimos are joining the Ottawa Redblacks in the hunt for a new head coach this offseason. On Wednesday afternoon, it was announced that Jason Moss had been relieved of his duties. In his 4 years as head coach of the Eskimos, Jason Moss finishes with a regular season record of 39-33. He has made the postseason in 3 of those years, reaching the conference finals in each of those appearances. General Manager Brock Sunderland says that while penalties were an issue, they weren't the main factor in the final decision.
Well, obviously penalties come into play, and at the inopportune times they presented themselves. There's a lot of reasons and pieces to the puzzle of why the final decision was made, and do penalties at the inopportune time ultimately hinder your chances? Yes, that wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak.
Now that the snow has fallen and winter is starting to finally show up, I thought that I better take advantage of this opportunity to hit the slopes. For this week's End Zone Challenge, I go snowboarding.
That is not me. Here I am, and it's my first time ever going snowboarding. This is Kennedy, and she's going to show me the slopes. We tried out a few basic moves. We started by teaching me a simple heel turn, where I would dig my heel into the snow to turn and stop. Then we did a toe turn, a very similar move that would work in the other direction. After a lot of practice, I put my skills to use and started going down the hill using those techniques, swaying back and forth down the hill in a pendulum-like motion. Once I felt comfortable, I had to face my biggest challenge, one of the biggest hills that Snow Valley has to offer. My confidence was sky high, but that wasn't going to protect me from wiping out at least one time.
Awesome, thank you so much.
It looks like you had a really good time shredding that powder this week.
Yeah, I agree. Do you plan on going back?
100%, yeah. I've never gone snowboarding before, and I usually spend my winters inside watching Netflix and then watching more Netflix, really.
Yeah, same
so
here.
I think I'm going to take a lot of chances to go out there and do that again.
Awesome, that's great. Thank you so much, Elliot, for that sports update.
Coming up after the break, we built a gingerbread house at Rogers Place.
And learn more about how the Christmas Bureau helps families in need.
We have an amazing group of volunteers. We love every single one of them, but we're always looking for more.
Bert, it is freezing outside. I'm just about to head into the Butterdome for the Butterdome craft sale. I'll have all that and more in entertainment.
The Christmas Bureau builds up Christmas spirit for the less fortunate during the holiday season, and teams competed to build the ultimate gingerbread house this week.
Yeah, the event was to highlight the beginning of the Christmas Bureau's Holiday 2019 campaign that is expected to provide over 40,000 Edmontonians with festive food hampers.
Over 20 teams from all across the city participated in the gingerbread build-off. While Jason and I weren't exactly the best at building, the contest was absolutely for a good cause. This is the 79th year that the Christmas Bureau is organizing their charity campaign.
What's great about the Christmas Bureau is it's a one application process for 3 services. So you apply with the Christmas Bureau, and then qualifying families can get a festive meal through our hamper program, toys for children up to 12 years old through our sister charity, which is 630 Chest Santa's Anonymous, and then also our Adopt a Teen program, which is part Christmas Bureau program, where they get a gift card for 13 to 17 years old.
Hampers and donations can be dropped off at the Christmas Bureau located just off the Yellowhead and 68th Street. I have no idea what I'm going to get my mom or my girlfriend for Christmas. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet, Jace?
No, not at all, and I'm not the best person to ask, but I hear our entertainment host, Moira, went to a craft show, so maybe you could find something there. Here's Moira with entertainment.
Thanks, guys. One of the biggest craft shows in Western Canada kicked off yesterday in the Butterdome. If you were thinking the Butterdome Craft Show, that's exactly what I was thinking too, and I'm sure you could take care of some Christmas shopping as well. The Butterdome Craft Show features over 60 vendors from across Western Canada. There's an enormous variety of merchandise. From artwork to food to children's toys, the Butterdome Craft Fair has it all. Pure Essentials sells soaps, lotions, and essential oils. Rachel Mayer says the craft show is very helpful to her business.
I do it all out of my home, and I have an online store, and there are a few stores in the city that carry my products for me.
The craft show runs until Sunday in the Butterdome on the U of A campus. Tickets are $7 online or at the door. Christmas is coming up pretty quickly, but it came even sooner to the Edmonton Expo Centre. Glow Edmonton opened its doors last night for some food, Santa, and millions of Christmas lights. There's something for everyone at Glow Edmonton with so many things to do. There's a vendor market with over 30 local businesses showcasing their products. Food and drinks are available, along with live entertainment, and no Christmas event would be complete without Santa. But the biggest part is the lights. There are interactive light sculptures and gardens, as well as themed rooms from different countries, all spectacularly lit. And of course, all this is happening under the twinkling glow of thousands of lights. Tickets are $23 for adults and $17 for children and seniors, with the option to buy the family pass for 2 adults and 3 children. Coming from a small town, the dream is to make it in the big city. The Roxy decided to go in a different direction with that in the play Bed and Breakfast.
What if we did what Carrie said? What? Move in?
Bed and Breakfast stars two men, Brett and Mark, who are living in Toronto. When Brett inherits his small town family estate, the couple decides to move out of the big city and renovate it into a bed and breakfast. While transforming their property and getting used to life away from the hustle and bustle, their presence alerts their neighbors. The two actors play over 20 characters in this comedy, directed by Bradley Moss and put on by the Theatre Network at the Roxy. We're all in this together. High schools across town are getting ready to perform the musicals they've been working on since September. I visited Louis Saint Laurent, and their production of Big the Musical is really coming together. Big the Musical is about a 13-year-old boy who wishes he was a grown-up for his birthday, and then suddenly he is. He turns into a 30-year-old man overnight and has to find a way to get back to being 13 again.
It's like been a really smooth rehearsal process. We start right in September, basically, a couple weeks in. We auditioned and then went straight through to now, and we're about a week away.
Big the Musical will open on December 4th. Millwoods Christian School will present Miss Holmes on Friday, December 13th. Bellerose Composite High School will present Sister Act, and Archbishop MacDonald High School will present The Drowsy Chaperone, both on December 14th. That's your NewsWatch entertainment for the week. I hope it gave you some ideas for fun things to do this weekend. Let's get back to the boys.
Thanks so much, Moira, and thank you all for joining us on this last episode of NAIT NewsWatch for this semester.
Be sure to catch NAIT NewsWatch Extra in the coming weeks. Have a great weekend.